I was just about to film my intro and I spill spirit gum all over myself. Happy Halloween. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and happy Halloween. It is the most wonderful time of year and I'm so happy to be back on YouTube, especially, you know, for right now. So if you want to learn how to do this look, just keep on watching and stay spooky. I gotta go. Alright, before jumping right in, I just want you guys to take your fingers really quick and kind of move it across your face to see where your natural bone structure is. This is going to be super helpful to see where you should be placing everything. Going in with our first product, I'm just taking the Makeup Forever Artist Pencil in white. You can pretty much use any white pencil. The quality really doesn't matter here as long as it shows up on your skin. We're basically just using this to create some sort of guideline to see where we're going to put everything else. I love using a light colored pencil for this because you can just easily wipe away your mistakes and no one's ever going to know about it. Except you guys because, you know, I just told you. So starting in my temple area, I'm basically just following my own bone structure, except I'm exaggerating it a little bit, going a little bit higher, making it a little more curvy. I also found it super helpful while I was drawing these lines to look at a picture of a real, genuine skull on Google, and that helped me with my placement so much. So if you're a little confused, I would most definitely pull up a reference photo. Honestly though, I'd say the hardest part of this step is just getting both sides even, but don't be too hard on yourself because you can always go back and correct it. Now that we have our initial shape down, I'm just going to go in with Rustic from the Soft Glam palette. This one's by Anastasia, but you can use any palette that you want to as long as the shades are similar. We're essentially just using this shade as a transition, so it doesn't have to be too perfect, but it will help blend all the other colors together. Pro tip, I highly advise you guys use an eyeshadow primer under the shadow that you're applying. You will thank me later. Next, I'm just going in with a dark brown shadow and I'm adding all of the essential shading that we're going to need before we add our black. And for this step, I'm using a flat definer brush. This is going to help you be so much more precise in your lines, which means less cleanup later. Now, of course, our next step is going to be adding the black, and essentially we're just placing that a little bit more conservatively where we were putting our darkest shading when we were applying the brown. Also, I totally forgot about my jawline for a little bit, so, you know, go ahead and fill that in. Now we're taking Mulberry to darken this area a little bit more and kind of further blend everything together. I found using just a regular fluffy brush was the best tool for this. And by now, if you're not feeling too confident on how this is turning out, same. But don't worry, because throughout this entire process, we're just going to keep going back in and touching things up as we go along. Also, I highly recommend taking a huge sip of whatever you're drinking because we're not going to be able to touch it for a while. Now moving on to the mouth portion, I'm just taking Melt Cosmetics Old Fashioned. This is essentially just a light brown lipstick. It doesn't really matter what brand you use, but I do recommend using a cream formula for sure. And I mean, after that, we're basically just smearing it all over the place. Using a damp brush in the Noir Shadow, we're going to go in there and start to draw our vertical lines. This part absolutely is where having a photo reference helped me the most. I don't think I could have done it without it. I know some of you probably think it's super weird that I'm using an eyeshadow instead of an eyeliner in this regard, but you'll see in a second why. I just feel like it's very easy to mess up the teeth and you don't want to kind of set yourself up to fail with something that's not easily fixable, especially if you're not used to doing stuff like this. So I do highly recommend using a shadow over a liner, but you can always go back in later and use an eyeliner of your choice, especially if you really want it to stay throughout the night. So as you can see, I'm just taking the brush and I'm going up into these really kind of thin, slightly curved lines. You don't want to go completely straight because that's not really going to look realistic, so just make sure to add a little bit of curve to the end. As you start moving towards the outside, you want to position the final teeth a little higher up than what you were drawing them at. And you want to elongate the gum because that's going to bring us a lot of depth in the end as we start shading everything. Now this part I most definitely messed up on, especially with like how like we're curving the gums and everything, but really don't be scared. We're just gonna go back in with black eyeshadow later, blend everything in, correct it. It's gonna be poppin', don't worry. Now we're taking the same dark brown shadow that we used earlier in a really thick angled brush, and you just want to stamp it along the lines, kind of an elongated triangular shape. I'm also making sure to dither the ends a little bit by blending it in with my fingers just so it blends a little bit better. And if you're starting to look like this, look at you, you're doing a good job. Now I'm going back in with a smaller little flathead brush and I'm just doing the shading I talked about earlier. This will just really kind of help pull everything together and correct some of the shapes if you messed up previously. And then just make sure to add a little bit of black shadow here. You could even use a black lipstick if you like. And since I was unknowingly out of white paint, I used the Kat Von D bleach pomade, and let me tell you, this was not the wave. I do not recommend this for this look. It was too dry of a formula for painting, you know what I mean? Like it just did not work for what I was using it for, but we prospered, we worked through it. It's gonna be okay. So what we're doing for this part is just essentially drawing those like dithering triangles that I was talking about. And then as you get to the outer portion, you're just elongating the root a little bit more. And this will make it look so much better, even if you really messed up those lines. Side note, as I'm editing this, I just realized that I forgot to record the part where I corrected my mistakes, so you can unsub now, I'm sorry. Moving on to the eyes, I'm priming them with the Pro Filter Fenty primer. Oh, I love this stuff. And then I'm going in with Burnt Orange from the Soft Glam palette and just throwing that all in my crease. Next, I'm going in with Mulberry, putting that really deep and above the crease, just so we have a great transition for Cypress Umber, which I just applied. I'm also going to apply that to my lower lash line and smoke that out as well. Basically just a really blown out brown smoky eye. After that, you can just go ahead and apply your favorite black eyeliner to your upper and lower waterline. Finally, onto my favorite part of the tutorial. I'm taking the Lit Cosmetics for Everywhere. It's like the best glitter base you could possibly use for this project especially, but I'm taking that and just kind of miscellaneously placing it around the eye where I want to put the glitter. And for that, I ended up using the Oprah size number 3. That's also from Lit Cosmetics. I absolutely love their stuff, as you can probably tell by my Instagram. And as far as placement goes, you're really just haphazardly applying this. You don't want it to be too perfect or else it'll look weird. Then we're just going to go in and apply a little bit more adhesive on top of the glitter to apply our gold flakes. I actually got these on Amazon. I'll see if I can find the link and put it in the description box. I'll also try to see if I can get you guys some discount codes on maybe some of the products that I used in the video, but we shall see. After you're feeling content with how your eyes turned out, just take a nice big fluffy brush and sweep away all the excess glitter that may have fell and put on your favorite mascara. Now I'm just taking my favorite highlight of the moment. This one is by Sleek Makeup. I think you can get it at Ulta for like $13, $14, but it's so good. It's a really nice light color, so it's perfect for a skull. And I'm using pretty tiny brushes to apply because I just don't want to get it in any of the face paint or anything, so make sure to be precise. To complete the eyes, you can pretty much throw in whatever lashes you want, but I personally really like them really thick and kind of fluffy, so I used Intoxicating by Flutter Lashes. I've been obsessed with these for a few months now. Now it's time to get a little scandalous. Just a precaution, as I don't want to ruin absolutely any clothing I care about. I'm just going to take some water and some Mehran Makeup black paint. This is water activated, so this is how you're going to make it, you know, into liquid paint. Anyways, I'm just taking this makeup brush and dipping it into the paint and slowly pressing it against my neck to create these cool drips. Make sure they are dry before you look down or do anything, because I most definitely made that mistake. As you can see by now, I ended up using the same technique on my shoulders, but I do recommend that you end up switching these last two steps and adhering your shoulder pads first and then going in with the paint. Just a little pro tip. Alright, now this is the completed look. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.